Yeah. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, we got an absolutely fantastic show coming your way today. You know, I tell you what, this is veterans. I consider it is not just Veterans Day coming up, but the whole month of November is Veterans Celebration Day from the James Cooley Show, and we're gonna start it off today because we got an absolutely fantastic show coming our way today, and I'm excited about having this guest on. And as you know, Thursday, Bridges Beyond Grief. Well, so our main host today is going to be Paula Shaw. How you doing, Paula? How you doing?
I'm doing great, JC. It's always a delight on Thursday afternoon to spend time with you and Michelle and to bring our listeners and viewers fascinating people who are doing fascinating things out in the world. And of course, this month we're focusing on those who are serving veterans. And
that's time to lock everybody in here.
Time to lock everybody in. Let's do it, Tom.
Here we go.
Okay.
It's Your Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley.
Hello. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. But Thursday, we have Paula Shaw as the primary host of the show on Thursdays because we're going to be talking about Bridges Beyond Grief. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's her specialty. And we got an absolutely fantastic show coming your way today because in November, what we do on the James Cooley Show is we celebrate the whole month of November as Veterans Month, not just Veterans Day, but Veterans Month. And we got a lot of folks coming on. We just had a Brigadier General, we got an Admiral, Vice Admiral, we got a lot of different folks coming on throughout the month. But we got a Sergeant Major on the show today, and I'm excited to have this guy. You know, when it comes to the military, I just get excited, Paula. I get excited. I'm sorry. How you doing today, Paula?
But you know what, James? You have to remind the audience that you are a veteran of the United States Navy.
That's right.
Yes, you retired as an officer and you served your country, and we want to thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I did my time and I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited about the show today, Paula. And I know you are in sunny San Diego. Michelle and I are in Dallas this week. I was in San Diego last week, but I'm back here in Dallas, and we're going to be here for at least another 3 weeks before I be heading back that way. So how are you doing today, Paula?
Great. Always my favorite time of the day on Thursdays when I get to spend an hour with you and Michelle. And we get to bring our viewers and listeners great people that are doing great work that, especially this month, I'm excited about because, as you both know, my dad is a veteran of the Normandy invasion in World War II and also the Okinawa invasion. And normally at this time of year, I'd be bringing Dad on for an interview, but he's going to be 99 next month, and
Wow.
he still does interviews, which is pretty exciting. It's a little harder for him than it used to be, but our guest today has no problem telling the story and talking about the work that he does, and I'm very excited that we're going to get to chat with him.
I'm excited about this, and I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching us on, whether you're watching us on E360 Television, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, iHeartRadio, if you listen, KCBQ, The Answer, where Todd is at, and over 6 to 8 live platforms. Welcome to the show. Now, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do, just go to the platform that you are watching or listening to us on. If you're watching us, go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. Or you can pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. Michelle, I am excited. Can you please introduce the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely magnificent guest that we have?
Yes. The title of today's show is Remembering Our Veterans, and we're having a sit-down conversation with Neil O'Connell. He is the executive director at Mount Soledad National Veterans Memorial in La Jolla, California. We're going to talk about the plight of returning veterans, family grief following a death, what Soledad offers to ease that grief, and how we can better honor and serve our veterans. So Neil O'Connell hails from Natick, Massachusetts, the oldest of 5 sons. He grew up on Cape Cod and entered the Marine Corps in 1977. Serving in the Marines for 33 years, he rose to the rank of Sergeant Major, a rank he proudly wore for 13 years. Shortly after retiring from the Marines at Camp Pendleton in February 2012, he was recruited to serve on the Board of Trustees of the Mount Soledad Memorial Association. During his tenure, he has dedicated his time supporting the Memorial Day and Veterans Day ceremonies, as well as conducting numerous veterans honor ceremonies, membership development, and fundraising in support of the memorial, and serving as the president and CEO of the association from 2018 to 2021. Presently, he leads the association as executive director. He has so much to say, and we have so much to ask him. Please welcome to the show, retired Sergeant Major Neil O'Connell.
Hi, Neil. Well, I love that effect, JC. That's good, and he deserves it.
Oh, he deserves it. Hey, how you doing, Sergeant Major? How you doing today?
I'm doing very well, Dr. J.C. Cooley, and thank you, Michelle, for that very, very nice introduction, and to Paula for the invitation to be part of this awesome get-together today. I couldn't be doing better on the few days here from Veterans Day and a wonderful week here in San Diego with great things that the veteran community, San Diego community are planning or already in the midst of with our Fleet Week activities. And to you, sir, I salute your naval service. Having been in the back of those amphibs over the years, we were just nothing more than, amphibious cargo ready to splash and go inland. And well, you gentlemen would go out maybe and have a little lobster and steak while we were in the dirt.
I tell
Kidding
you,
aside, what a great Navy Marine Corps team. Absolutely.
It's a great Navy Marine Corps team. And, I was on the Blue Ridge and also the Mount Whitney. I served aboard both of those. And it's an absolute pleasure working hand in hand with the Marines. And you guys are absolutely fantastic. Mm-hmm. And, I tell you, we talking about remembering our veterans, and with Mount Soledad National Veterans Memorial, this is you guys' 70th anniversary from 1954 to 2024. So congratulations on that. So
thank you very, very much.
I want to get this started with you before I turn it over to Paula. Is Neil, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about you? What made you click? Why did you enter the military? You made it to the top, to the highest in the enlisted ranks, and you're doing so many great things since you've been out, especially with the organization that you are working with. Can you tell our viewers and listeners where you grew up, what makes you click, and why you're so excited about the things that you're doing?
I'd be glad to. Honestly, I'm blessed and very, very thankful for the family that raised us. 5 boys. The communities that we lived in Massachusetts were rich with heritage and tradition of veterans within the community. World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam. And the age that I particularly hold today, I have to tell you that the Vietnam veterans, the Korean War veterans were a major influence on our life, speaking for my brothers and others around us. And we had great role models in our communities. These men and women went on to do great things, but it was a calling to service that started long before. As a young man, my grandfather served in World War I in France in as a stable master, as well as a mounted resupply train to the front lines. And that young man came back from France and went on to join the Boston Police Department. At the young age of 24, he was unfortunately killed in the line of duty. And so my mom was a very young lady at that time, a baby, in fact, 2 years old when that happened. And I learned later in life, many, many years later, as a young man, why my mom would be sad around Christmas time. Mm-hmm. And we never really knew it. And our grandmother, who raised my mom and my uncle went on to serve in the United States Navy during World War II, dropping Marines off in the islands in the Pacific campaign in those landing craft. All of that was surrounding our family history. My father's side, every one of his brothers, to include himself, all served in the service. So our upbringing, there was just a automatic calling to serve in our nation's armed forces. Mm-hmm. The Marine Corps at that time against, my dad was a Navy veteran. My uncle, who was also a very strong influence in my life, was also a Navy veteran. But there were a lot of young guys joining the Corps. And so we all put our hand up and stepped into the, right on in. And at the young age of 18, we went down to Parris Island, South Carolina, and we learned the ways of the United States Marine Corps. I won't go through my whole career, but I would tell you today, straight up, man to man, the Marine Corps provided me everything I have as a father, as an adult, as a husband, as an executive director, and the strong virtues of character, integrity, honesty, service before self, taking care of your people, sacrificing for those, working hard, a very hard work ethic. Yes, sir.
Hold that though.
Yes, sir.
We're going to take a station break.
All righty.
When we get back, you pick it up, and Paula is going to have the show. So I tell you what.
Sounds great.
Whatever platform that you're watching this on, if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is go to that platform, go to the comments. If you're watching us, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. Or you can pick up the phone and call the radio station, KCBQ, AM 1170, answer, FM 96.1, San Diego at 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll be back with a lot more Neil and Paula Shaw shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
A Black Man's Point of View is the newest Amazon.com #1.
Check it out. It's Dr. J.C. Cooley. Hey.
chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right.
JC Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
Dr. James JC Cooley.
Hello. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and today is as you already know, it's Thursday, and our Bridges Beyond Grief. So we got Paula Shaw here that's going to be hosting it from here on out. I'll step in every now and then and ask a couple of questions. We got the fantastic guest, Neil O'Connor. And I tell you, he already started off already fantastic. And I have to hand salute this man, Sergeant Major. So, I tell you, I want to get back to this. And if you want to be part of the conversation, the easy way to do it is pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. Paula, it's all yours.
Thank you. I've got so many questions for you, Neil. I'm so delighted to have you with us. First, I'd like to share with our audience how I met you and the extraordinary experience that you enabled my family to have. So Neil came and spoke with my Rotary group, and I didn't know there was a Mount Soledad National Veterans Memorial. And I was very, very interested to learn more. And so I called Neil, and I actually went there because many of you know my dad is a veteran of the Normandy invasion, World War II, and also the invasion of Okinawa. And he did training with the Marines here in Camp Pendleton. So I just thought that might be such a wonderful place to bring him, even though he's 99 next month. But so I met with Neil, and it just happened. I believe it was Memorial Day coming up, right, Neil? And
Yes.
They do these events that I'm going to ask him to tell you a bit about. But not only did he invite us to the event, we were able to drive my dad right up to where it was all happening, even though many people were walking and being shuttled up. We had VIP seating, and at one point he asked certain veterans to stand up, and my dad was very thrilled and proud from the whole experience. And I just can't thank you enough, Neil, because there were many veterans there and others who were, I believe, World War II as well.
Yes.
So please tell us a little bit about the evolution of Mount Soledad, what got you excited about it, and then we'll talk a little bit about how it helps veterans and their families to heal.
Thank you very much, Paula. And that was an absolutely spectacular experience and a day when we met your family. And, to go right back to Memorial Day of 2024, that was a very special occasion at the memorial. And this ties right into the subject matter here and some of the things that we do really work hard to bring in our community. For instance, the battalion that we honored, 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, just recently in 2010 and 11 fought in the Battle of Sangin in the Helmand province of Afghanistan. Those families were there, Gold Star families surrounded by other veterans of other eras. And your dad was to the left of those young men and women. Now, fast forward, that whole experience in of itself with 800 plus guests, actually Memorial Day, we had 1,000, offers 90 minutes of quiet time for people to just reflect and look at the beautiful cross, look at the memorial walls, and look at the surroundings and understand just what solace is and solitude and how that can soothe and help and just give you a moment of peace and tranquility while listening to the stories and understanding what everyday men and women have been through, from the days of just signing right up or going to officer candidate school, listing and going to their schools, and all of a sudden they're thrown into harm's way in a fury of a lot of dangerous situations. But back to the question of what drove me to be involved is many years ago I worked I served in the Marine Corps here locally, and I had Marines, one or two, this is before 9/11, one or two of them lose their life. And I had been to Mount Soledad earlier in my career as a young gunnery sergeant and a staff sergeant, in fact, for their services. I would just stand in the back in uniform with 2 or 3 other Marines, and it was just one of the most dignified, tranquil, beautiful celebrations that makes you just proud. And after that, my service in the U.S. Marine Corps brought me back there more because I had more men and women in my units locally here as casualties. And how does the memorial honor those veterans, those deceased veterans at that time, is through the formation of a plaque, and that's some right over my shoulder here. And we place these beautiful plaques on the walls around the memorial and the cross. And what that does is it provides a living example in the fact that you can see the individual's face, the picture, and there is a connection there. And our docents do great work in telling their stories. But what you're experiencing when you come to Mount Soledad is a very captivating sight in our city. It is at the highest point within the city of San Diego, has a panoramic 360-degree view of the whole entire city, plus the beautiful Pacific Ocean to the west. And for 70 years now, since its founding, it's just like anyone for instance, in the country may experience, or if you live on the coast, you may take a walk on the beach, or you may go to the lake, or go out to walk a trail in the woods or the forest for some peace and quiet and tranquility and maybe some self-reflection. Well, the memorial offers the same exact thing, but it is very, very emotionally captivating because of the walls that surround the actual memorial itself, the 18 walls in a circular parabola design. And you will, without a doubt, within the first 5 minutes, really get drawn into that. So what that does, Paula, literally, when it comes to a person like myself who served in the Marine Corps, who was surrounded by young men and women who, did wonderful things, and some never made it home, that offers you a very, very solemn location and a time to pause and just reflect.
And Neil, I have to share with our audience, I kind of thought a plaque would be, the person's name and the date and that whatever service they were in. These plaques are so personalized, and they have pictures. I don't know what you call the process, but it's like there's pictures on there of that person in their service uniform and the story, so I guess each family can design the plaque any way they want to. Is that correct?
Well, we have a criteria and a standard, because if you see the walls, or you look on the webpage at soledadmemorial.org, it'll show the beautiful walls. And there's a standard appearance to the plaques that just due to space limitations, but it's solely focused on the veteran's service, his or her service, and it's living and deceased. That's also, people may think this is a memorial similar to a cemetery or a memorial garden. This is a memorial that honors their service by preserving their legacy off of those photos and the story. But you're right. There's much more to it. When you walk the walkways and you see the photos up close to you, you're immediately drawn to stop and read and look.
Yes.
And,
you feel like you're getting to know that person. It's not just a reading, a name and a date. And I'm dying to know, whose concept was this in the beginning? And how did you get this incredible premium chunk of land where the memorial is?
That's a really interesting, it's a great question. And the way you described it is actually, it does kind of hit you in the, right in the running lights.
Yeah.
It is absolutely a beautiful location. But the property sits within a community, and dating back into the late 1800s and the early 1900s, folks put up crosses up there, wooden crosses, just like you may see in other parts of the country where you have a memorial over a neighborhood or out in the country or off the coast, and folks would go up for Easter rising, Easter sunrise.
Oh, yeah.
And then it would take off from there. People would go up to be married, a lot of engagements, celebrations of birthdays. But then the war kicked off in World War II, and primarily at that time, the population here in San Diego was very, very small, but it surged during World War II as all the servicemen and women came here, boarded ships, headed from this port here in San Diego to the Pacific. But it wasn't until the very end of World War II that the formulation of our current corporation, the nonprofit Mount Soledad Memorial Association, was formulated in 1952 by veterans and their families, businessmen and women within the small, at that time, a very small community.
Wow.
I know it's break time. Go ahead, Jason.
Yes, sir.
This is so interesting, but we got to take a station break. But we're going to come back. We're going to continue this great discussion with Neil and Paula. And I tell you, it's not too late to be part of the conversation. If you want to be part of the conversation, just pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. Or whichever platform that you're watching us on, just go to the comments, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Remember that every donation makes a difference regardless of size. The J.C. Cooley Foundation thanks you in advance for your contribution.
There's much truth in a journey that ain't over yet, as all of us journey through life's precious gift of time. In the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, you can join James as he shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. This is a must listen for anyone who thinks they're stuck in life or needs to understand that their current situation is not their final destination. Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet is the unfiltered truth to provide hope for the future by challenging you to refuse to become a victim of life's circumstance and dare to become an overcomer, because a bigger, better, and more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by Dr. James Cooley on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Hello. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And just sitting back, listening to Paula and listening to Neil. This is absolutely fantastic. What Neil and his organization is doing. I got a couple of questions before we get back to Paula on this one. But Todd, I want to get your thoughts and of the show so far.
Great show. And I have to say, I want to thank Mr. O'Connell for everything that he does at the Mount Soledad Memorial, as well as all the volunteers that are up there. I'm so stoked because my dad, who served in Vietnam, he's getting his plaque up there. Actually, it's up there. They just installed it. And Denise helped with the procedure, volunteer Denise, and Rob as well. I got to give them a shout out, as well as my dad, James Perrick, my favorite veteran. Very proud of him. And we grew up, I'm third generation San Diego native. My dad grew up here, my grandpa. So we love the cross. It's always a special place. And so now my dad is so stoked that he's up there now. So it's very special. I love the cross.
Wow.
That's I want that experience from my dad too, Todd.
Make that happen.
I know. We got to get on it. I'm going to definitely get on it very soon. Get the whole family involved, because I think that would be a great family effort. It would be wonderful.
Absolutely. Now, so Neil, a couple of things. I know that the Memorial Association does so many great things, and I'm assuming that you guys are partners with other organizations to help you guys achieve all of these things. So my question is like three parts. First of all, are there partnerships with other organizations? That's one. Secondly, is employment can be a major challenge for veterans, especially if they re-enter the civilian life. Mm-hmm. So roles that you got to do, and also the homelessness of veterans, that's a major concern of all of us.
Yes.
Who have served. Can you address each one of those three issues? And I'm turning it back over to Paula.
I absolutely will. I'll start with the homeless situation. Our organization, I'll be very honest with you, I just had a wonderful lady sitting in my right hand here who helped Todd with that plaque. She's been with us here for about 17 years. She's hardworking gal, Denise Larkins, and she's got an amazing history of patriotism. But what we do in our programs for everybody that's listening is our volunteer force of 60 plus individuals supports our programs. We're a very, very small team when it comes to paid staff, but we have a rich team of volunteers, and they're docents, they're plaque designers, they're event support individuals that help us with our events. And we don't have any direct program that connects with the homeless situation in San Diego, but we are very ingrained with other veterans organizations that have forums and creating new ideas and ways to be able to formulate a better path ahead for our homeless veterans. And what we have found, though, is that some organizations within the city of San Diego, they'll come and visit with those individuals that may be in a crisis situation when it comes to dependency or an addiction, and they will take a visit to the memorial. They'll come and they'll reflect. If you see the topography and you see the location and you see this beautiful memorial as it is, it will soothe you upon entry. I can't put it any other way. And it may be an opportunity where you'll see a counselor or two, or a dear friend, or a brother or a sister sitting with somebody and having a quiet little talk, well away from the hustle and bustle of the city and the communities and some of our areas here where life is very fast paced. But they'll sit, and it may be that 1 30-minute segment of a chat, and a little time to take a deep breath, a little time to just pause. And then while you're there and you're looking at the beautiful surrounding city, you're going to see right in front of you faces of men and women who have served, and many have sacrificed and didn't get back here, didn't come home. So on the homeless subject, that is the one area, but we're not ingrained as an organization to really bear that responsibility. Job transition, absolutely. That is right up our alley. We hold a couple of events a year where we have job networking events up there. One is a fantastic organization called the Veterans Beer Club. If you can imagine that, James, Navy and Marine guys got out of the service, and now we're bringing up veterans looking for an opportunity to have a conversation and network and get people to, hey, like Dr. Cooley did. He came out of the Navy and he went on and pursued his education. And then from there, he went into, the profession of helping people and all. And those are very, very successful. So we utilize that property to its full advantage. It's absolutely beautiful. And then your first portion to your question, remind me again, we had veterans homelessness, we had transition, and what was the other?
Partnership with other organizations that are key into helping what you guys are doing be successful.
Absolutely. Thank you for the reminder. There, right off the top is Honor Flight. Honor Flight is a nationwide regional organization which takes veterans that are never been to Washington, D.C., or if they did, they were youngsters at the time. And it's not uncommon for us to host the Veterans Honor Flight veterans with us at our ceremonies, or hold private ceremonies for them and recognizing them and allowing them the opportunity to share their stories. Many of these men and women, as you know, Dr. Cooley, they will not open up their soul and their whole experience until maybe later years in life, if they do at all. And so it takes a little bit of a little nudge here or there, and a little opening or an opportunity. But Honor Flight San Diego is a wonderful leader. Holly Schaffner just does amazing things with her organization and gets these men and women on the airplanes, gets them back to DC. They tour the memorials, and they come back to an unbelievable homecoming. Other partnerships that we utilize and love to be able to host, our education program is brand new. We have a director now who is reaching out to all parts of our community to bring children to the memorial and offer them an opportunity to learn about the service of our men and women who wore the uniform. But it's also an opportunity to share an example of a channel. As a young ensign or a corporal or a sergeant or an airman that leaves the service, and all of a sudden you see San Diego around you here. To the north of us is one of the most renowned medical centers in the country. To the south is a beautiful, bustling city that has unbelievable opportunities for employment growth and opportunities to educate yourself. There's just so many channels that the service offers upon leaving your 3, 5, 8, 20-year career, whatever it might be.
And Neil, hold that though. We got to take a station break.
Yes.
We're going to come back.
We got it.
We're enjoying this, and you putting out so much information. The veterans out there that's becoming veterans, listen to what Neil is saying. And always carry that dream with you that you can do anything that you set your mind to. We're going to take a station break.
That's right.
We're going to come back, and we're going to talk a lot more about this. And I tell you what, you want to be part of the conversation, pick up the phone, dial 1-888-344-1170 again. That's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
A black man.
Heaven abounds in you, enlightens, uplifts, inspires, and invites you to live a life that's engaged, joyous, and limitless, the sweet spot of life. Take this journey in oneness. We are and have all that God, the infinite creative source of the universe, is. You are infinite potentiality, and the kingdom of heaven is within you. Heaven abounds in you.
A black
Nonprofit organization that was
For those looking to improve their lives, there's nobody better to turn to than Paula Shaw. Paula helps people regain successful lives by identifying and eliminating self-sabotaging behavior using a multitude of mind-body techniques to identify and resolve their core issues. Working with a wide variety of healing modalities, she provides her clients with the most effective process for their specific needs. To book a session with Paula, call 858-480-9234. That's 858-480-9234.
Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
To the Windy City, right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Let's go. It's the James Cooley Show.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and I tell you, Neil is sharing a whole lot of things that I'm so happy about, because a lot of times when we're coming out the service, we don't know what we're going to do, or when we've been out the service for quite some time, veterans, we forget about there are things out there that can help us, and there's organizations out there that can help us, and first of all, knowledge and inspire us to do some things that we didn't even think about. And his organization is providing so much information. And I tell you what, veterans, not just veterans, but family of veterans, or please take and heed what this man is saying. And I tell you what, take all that information and go out and help your family members. I'm gonna turn it back over to Paula right now. And Paula, I would like to chat about events that are coming up on the 9th.
Yes, definitely. I would love to do that. I just wanted to say a couple of things explaining why I was so delighted to have Neil on our show today. Because as you were just mentioning, JC, men come out, men and women come out of the military, and that their identity is gone. You know, they knew who they were as Sergeant Major O'Connell or some other position. They knew what their job was. They knew what they were going to do each day. And now, as one of my clients once said to me, one day I was on the streets of Hanoi and the next day I was on the streets of San Francisco, and I had no idea who I was or what to do. And in this case, this particular person turned to drugs. And these are some of the sad scenarios that we hear, that the isolation and the alienation becomes such a problem. One of the things I love about Mount Soledad is it's a gathering place. You know, it's a place where we give them identity in perpetuity. You know, that plaque is going to be there for a long, long time. So I would just love it, Neil, in addition to definitely telling us about what's happening this Saturday, if you have a little story about how a plaque has helped a person heal or a family heal, so people get the real true message of what Mount Soledad is, I would love to hear that.
You know, that is a subject that's near and dear to all of our hearts here in our office, our staff, and our docents. When it comes to the visitors and the plaques and the individuals, everyday people who approach us to put a plaque up for their loved one, there is an initial bond that's created right from the beginning of the conversation about their loved one. In the office next to me here, we have a little sitting area where we have a table where folks will sit with our team, and we'll initiate this process of how to get this plaque designed, how to build it. But I just had an individual in here, a buddy took him, he was a young 18-year-old in Vietnam who was walking down a trail and hit a bouncing Betty, as they called him back then, a fabricated explosive of mine, and blew his leg off. And he lived with that, and he's still alive today. He's got an attitude you wouldn't believe. But again, like most Vietnam veterans, they kept it to themselves, and they carried on. They may have wore a cap or a shirt, but not everybody heard their whole entire story. When we hear their stories here quite frequently, and this gentleman's buddy brought him in, he said, listen, I'm getting you a plaque. This came out of one of the local beach bars in town where a lot of veterans go, and they said, we're going to get a plaque for you. He said, no. He's very, very humble. Well, they showed up, and he had a folder with his photos and his discharge certificate, his Bronze Star citation, his Purple Heart citation, and the like. And here we are sitting here, and the ladies know you have a box of tissues handy, because it's going to be a long, tough story here when it comes to the emotional outlay of what's been buried in them. And here we are, we're taking a sketch pad and we're putting together this photo, this plaque, and we have this young man who this gentleman looked great shape. He pulled up his trouser leg and he said, this is it. He said, I've had this with me since I was 18 years old, and by golly, no one's taken me down.
Wow.
So that plaque has gone into the design phase, and the individuals that design it, they get the attachment. And then from there, it goes to the installer, and the installer sees the photo and understands this story that's told. And then the docents who interact with the public on a daily basis, they all learn the history of these individuals. So I could tell you, Paula, I could write a book this thick on those experiences.
It's just magical. And Neil, what is the event that's coming up this very weekend? We'd love you to share that with our listeners and viewers, and who's able to come.
First of all, on Saturday is the 9th of November here at Mount Soledad at 11 a.m. Open to the public, free of charge, like all ceremonies are. Our memorials, there's never a fee. At 11 a.m., we will gather the community together. Hopefully, we'll have another 1,000 folks. We will honor the Korean War veterans, both those who served in the United States military and some who were conscripted in the Korean armed forces at the time and later went on to join with the U.S. forces and repel the Chinese communists during the invasion of the south of the Republic of Korea. That ceremony will be highlighted by a wonderful talk by Major General Mark McCarley, a United States Army general who's well versed on military history, international affairs, and he's got a very, very, really impressive career. We'll have the Consul General from the Republic of Korea, Los Angeles, come and speak as well. And the very, very moving talk will be given by a young man at the time in 1952, was 6 years old in the fall of 52 when his village at the time in Korea was invaded and attacked, and he was scooped up as a refugee. He lives in San Diego. He's a wonderful gentleman. I sat here with him last week. He will share his stories and his thanks and praise for the Americans and the servicemen and women who came to their rescue. That goes on Saturday. And then on Veterans Day, San Diego has a whole bunch of great things going on.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And I know JC's back, so it probably means we have run out of time. But Neil, I'm so grateful to you for what you've shared today, that we've been able to share this beautiful healing place with our listeners and viewers, because it is a very special bridge beyond grief.
It is. And Neil, I want to thank you. And I tell you what, Neil, I got an opening on the 26th, and I would love to have you back on the show, but not just you, but I would love for you to have about 2 or 3 veterans to come on and be part of the show, talk about what this means to them. Just like I said, November is not just Veterans Day for us, it's Veteran Month. I mean, I don't know if you can pull that off or not, but Michelle is there. But we want to get the message out on as much as we can to veterans and families. So Michelle is going to be working with you and seeing if you can do that or not. So I want to thank you for taking the time to come on the show. Paula, just like always, thank you, Bridges Beyond Grief. Every Thursday, I tell you what, I would like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. I'd like to thank my studios in San Diego, KCBQ, AM 1170 The Answer, FM 96.1. The Answer, San Diego. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Todd. I'd like to thank our viewers and listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we teach you how to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life, and we'll see you then.
This is Craig Gio at Anthony's Fishing.